Deep within the abandoned mines, where light never penetrated, Carl appeared. But this wasn't the cheerful geologist they used to know. The darkness of the mines seemed to have seeped into his soul, twisting his mind. He whispered sweet but false words to Bibi, promising her strength and understanding she had never known. Blinded by his charm and a thirst for something new, Bibi turned her back on the light and became his loyal follower. However, a sad truth lay hidden behind this darkness. Carl hadn't become a servant of the dark by his own will. He was forced to work in these cursed mines, where every swing of the pickaxe echoed with pain in his heart. He hated this work, hated the darkness that had swallowed his life. This hatred slowly grew into a thirst for revenge against the whole world that basked in sunlight while he languished below. His longtime friend Chuck, whom he had met in a strange club for repairing miners' carts and wheelchairs, shared his resentment of the world. Chuck, confined to a wheelchair, felt forgotten and useless. Darkness became their only comfort, the only way to equalize the world. Their hatred grew like poisonous ivy, and soon the whole world began to plunge into a sinister darkness. But not everyone accepted this darkness. Janet, a bright and courageous singer, stood up for the light. Her younger sister Bonnie, energetic and fearless, was by her side. They were joined by Sam, Grom, Buster, and the silent but loyal Spike. All of them felt that the world should not sink into darkness. Carl, standing in the depths of the mine, let out a sinister laugh that echoed through the dark tunnels. Chuck, sitting in his modified wheelchair, aimed a beam of crackling electrical energy forward. Bibi, clutching her beloved bat, waited with grim determination for an order. On the sunlit surface, Janet appeared, like an embodiment of light and hope. Her voice, usually filled with melody, now sounded firm and resolute. Spike, finding himself in the unaccustomed bright light, hurried to take shelter in the shadow of a large rock. A bright Brawl Stars star fell near him, as if the heavens were sending him their support. Meanwhile, in the mines, Carl and Chuck grabbed poor Stu. Bursts of electricity pierced his body, making him scream in pain. Finally, Stu couldn't take it anymore and fell, plunging down into the black abyss. By a miracle, he managed to grab the edge of the cliff with one hand. Carl and Chuck watched with malicious glee as Stu hung over the void. At that moment, Janet, like lightning, sped downwards, ready to save her comrade. But Stu lost his grip. His fingers unclenched and he fell. Janet didn't manage to catch him and landed next to where he had fallen. "Papa, stay with me!" Janet cried, her eyes filling with tears. Stu smiled weakly. "Don't cry, my little girl. Take care of your sister." With these words, his eyes closed. With a broken heart, but full of determination, Janet flew back up towards the high ground where Carl and Chuck were standing. Fury boiled in her chest. But Bibi was faster. Her bat slammed into Janet with force, knocking her to the ground. For a few moments, Janet lay motionless. Then, gathering all her will, she got to her feet. "We will win," Bibi hissed, her eyes burning with dark fire. "You've crossed all the lines," Janet replied coldly, ready to fight. In the heat of their battle, Carl noticed little Bonnie, who was trying to hide behind a large rock. A sinister smile touched his lips. He rushed towards her, intending to hurt her. Janet, noticing this, broke free from her fight with Bibi and, gaining immense speed, flew towards Bonnie. "You won't be able to save everyone, Janet!" Carl shouted, trying to grab the girl. But Janet was in time. She flew up to Carl and delivered a powerful blow, knocking him back. Meanwhile, in the distance, Gale was being chased by clumsy robots spawned from the darkness. The old weatherman tripped and fell face first onto the ground. Grom appeared on the roof of one of the surviving buildings. His loyal companion, the little mouse Mo, sat on his mighty shoulder. They watched the unfolding battle with concern in their eyes. Janet, standing in the middle of the battlefield, surrounded by her allies, Sam, Grom, Spike, and Buster, said with unwavering resolve, "As long as people need me, I will continue to help. But I can't do it alone. I have helpers." Carl appeared on a nearby rise. His eyes burned with madness. "It's time to turn this pathetic world into a giant stone," he proclaimed, his voice trembling with hatred. Chuck, with a cry of rage, took flight in his wheelchair, equipped with anti-gravity engines, and rushed to his friend's aid. Bibi, with a battle cry, suddenly leaped forward and ran after Chuck. And at that very moment, the forces of light and darkness clashed in a fierce battle. Janet, Sam, Grom, Buster, and Spike rushed towards Carl, Chuck, and Bibi. The battle for light and darkness had only just begun, and the fate of the entire world hung in the balance.